All right. Well, we are live here today with Nikki and Paul. How are you guys today?
Good.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on and sharing your story. As you listen today, you guys that are tuning in, we're all in the same situation where we have kiddos from Ukraine that we've hosted in our homes. We're trying to adopt them. Because of this war, the process has stopped, and there's been no clear way to even figure out how to get the kids here temporarily, or adoptions are stopped. And so we're all trying to share the story, and there's a huge push all across America today with hundreds of families. We hope to get thousands of friends and family to tune in and call or email your representative. If you want to be a part of that, you can go to legacyrefuge.org/advocate. And we have step-by-step instructions, PDFs you can download, ways to find your representative. And we want to blow up the phones and emails of every representatives to make waves. And if you have Biden's number, give him a call too.
Right.
But, well, Nikki and Paul, why don't you just share a little of your story? How did you, which kiddos, how old are they? Just give us your story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
So we started hosting kids about 4 years ago, fell in love with a family sibling group, and started the adoption process a few years ago in 2019, kind of pre-COVID. We've had some complications with the adoption, but we've committed to hosting them. And then, of course, the war broke out. So we were committed to trying to get them to some type of safety. And our kids are currently in Austria. So we have a sibling group, Victor, Vadim, Maxim, and Slava.
Awesome. What are their ages?
Victor is 10, and then it goes Vadim is 12, Maximum's 14, and Slava is 16.
That's amazing. And you have your own kids at home as well?
Or we don't. We're actually expecting our first kid in a few weeks.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's super exciting. So do you guys talk with your kiddos in Ukraine quite a bit?
Yeah, we stay connected with them quite a bit.
Yeah, so we were able to give them technology before the war because we hosted them through a winter hosting. So we sent them home with phones. We saw kind of this on the horizon, honestly, Justin.
Yeah.
We talked to them about a plan. We gave them money about maybe trying to get a plane ticket if they had needed it. So we are able to connect with them through the phones that we had given them, like Instagram and Facebook. But our kids were luckily evacuated to Austria.
Wow. That's amazing. Well, I'm glad that, you had some foresight there, because we did the same. We typically don't do technology for our kids when they're younger, but we were like, this could happen, and we don't want to lose touch.
That's exactly what we were thinking. And they were kind of laughing at us at the time. They were like, what are you talking about? And we saw this kind of coming down the pipeline mid-January. So we just said, this is very serious. This might be very serious. And so here's a couple steps for a plan for you.
Yeah, absolutely. How many times have you had the kiddos in your home?
4 times we've had the kids in our home.
That's amazing. And you were able to head out to go see them, weren't you?
I was, yes. I got to go to Austria. As soon as we found out they were getting out of Ukraine and heading to Austria, I immediately got a plane ticket to go to Austria.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
Yeah, so we just had some questions, like what's going to happen to them once these kids, an orphanage of 73, once they cross the border. So Paul wanted to be there to help kind of facilitate that, see if there's any needs that he could meet. Next questions was like, who's supplying the food? Who's doing school for them? Right. And so things like that.
Absolutely. And how was it out there for them? I mean, are they in a good place? Are they in a, is it?
So they're in a good place. They're safe. So obviously that's the most important thing for us. They were desperately needing clothes, food, toothbrushes, toiletries and stuff like that. They were in deep need of that. And I believe that the teachers and the facility workers were totally overwhelmed, very understaffed. Yeah. So it was really nice to be able to go there, help out, watch over the kids, and supply some goods for them. So that was really cool to be able to do that.
That's awesome.
And I think, Justin, we are running into some things like they're not allowing Americans to take the kids, right? Because it's been mentioned about sex trafficking or human trafficking. Right. And I think Paul can kind of speak to this like firsthand. It's still a problem. that we can be a solution to. So he saw kids that were getting into cars with people because they're so understaffed. He would not see the caretakers even during the day, because these are 5 caretakers with 73 kids with them 24 hours a day. So they actually had a search party have to go out and look for a kid that went missing.
3 kids.
3 kids.
Goodness.
In the car.
Well, and that's what, we're advocating here, and why we want everybody watching to call their representatives, because first of all, there is a first step of getting them out to immediate safety. But now we're talking about longer term health. If this goes on for 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, it's not enough just to be safe, because, they need to be in a healthy place. And for these kids, who have families who are ready to host them in their home temporarily or are in the adoption process, there's no better place to be to help overcome trauma than being with a family who already loves you and is stable. And, and that's what we're asking everybody to call for, to say, hey, can we temporarily bring these specific kids who are already orphan status, who have already been to America, can they come so that they're not in these huge environments with, like you said, 73 kids and 5 caretakers?
Yeah.
Like 4 caretakers. I was just alone with my 4 boys for a week. And it's like, I'm exhausted. I can't even imagine.
Yeah, and they are trying to process the trauma that they're going through as well, leaving a war, leaving their own families. And so they were leaving to go shopping and buy necessities for themselves. Yeah. So, leaving these kids unattended, essentially. So this is a problem, that I think like phase 1 was getting them across the border to safety. But to your point, phase 2 is like, what's the health of these kids now? Running kind of amok at a refuge camp or a new orphanage or a temporary orphanage situation. And like you said, Justin, we're vetted. So we've, done home studies and training for this type of stuff. So, it's hard for us to sit back and wonder why we're not the solution.
Absolutely.
And the people that are really suffering are the children, like they so badly want to come home with us, and they can't understand why we can't go home. Like, they've already been to our home, but they don't understand why they can't come now.
Well, that's what's, when I try to explain it to people, who don't know the situation, they're like, but don't kids come from Ukraine already? Like, yeah, they do. They already had passports and they've already been back and forth. Yeah, they have. It's like, we're not asking something unprecedented. Right. We're just saying, hey, temporarily, let them come be in a really
let us be the solution
environment. Yeah, let us be the solution. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think too, like, we underestimate the power of bringing these kids into the fold of a family where there's a mom and dad. He was talking about, it's still an institution, right? So they're safe, but it's still an institution at the end of the day. And that's not ideal for any child to grow up in, to be nurtured in. And so if there's an opportunity to take kids into a home where there's a mom and a dad, and you can meet their needs more specifically than the institution.
Yeah, especially consistent schooling and education, and moving the kids in the right direction instead of trying to organize a classroom or set up a new building or something. It'd be nice to have some solid structure for them.
And typically orphans are behind anyway in schooling. So this is, we just hate this, that they're really not participating in school for how long,
Yeah, absolutely. And more, they're going to get behind in this environment, and I wanted to show some pictures of you guys with the family. I was going to pull up here. What are some fun moments you guys have with these kiddos?
Yeah.
Oh, soccer's always a wonderful time. That they love soccer. The boys do, and
so this is Victor.
Yeah.
So Victor, we host Victor. My sister has hosted Vadim, and then Slava, so that's Victor. We took him to Universal, but we'll tell you, we asked him this last time what his favorite thing that he did in America with us this time. And he said decorating the Christmas tree as a family.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Isn't that crazy?
And he went to Universal.
Yeah.
We're like, what?
Oh my gosh.
It's always like,
oh, there's some kiddos.
That is Christmas. That was his favorite. Of course, every kid loves Christmas, but we thought it'd be the gifts or, the traveling or swimming. Yeah. But
it's not funny. The little things that you don't think of are the highlights.
Yeah. I should have sent you a picture of the Christmas tree decorating because we both kind of looked at each other and we're like, yes, of course.
Yeah.
But they just love those family moments. We played a lot of games, cooked together. They love going to the store.
You love
Do they?
too.
Yeah.
Oh, this one in Poland.
That's Vadim there in the middle, and then there's Yasa.
Yeah, and Yasa's her nickname, so her full name is, her name is Slava. We call her
That's
Yasa. So she's only been to America actually one time, and then she did not want to be adopted. So, as you know, sibling groups have to be all say yes. I don't know if you're aware of that. So, but she has since decided she would prefer to be adopted to America.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Well, I'm glad you guys are able to stay in touch. I appreciate you guys sharing your story. What would you like to tell people watching? How can they advocate to help these kiddos right now?
Yeah, I think definitely praying for these kids every day, not forgetting about them, because I think as the news cycle has, exhausted the war, we wonder, is it still going on? And it is. The war is going on. The Ukrainian people are suffering. And I think just praying for the kids. And I think, too, reaching out to senators, especially today, because we're trying to do a mass amount of people making those phone calls just so that they know that these kids need help.
Absolutely. Yeah. And if you're listening, like I said, you can go to legacyrefuge.org/advocate. We have step-by-step instructions, call scripts, a link where you can go in, put in your address or zip code and find your congressmen or your senators. And I'm new to all this. Like, I'm not a government person. I had to get.
I know, we're not either. We're like,
what are
who's
you?
the
What are
senator?
you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And so you can go find their phone number to call. If on that link, you can click in to their website. Actually, why don't we just do it? Why don't we do it? People can see right here.
And Justin, thank you for all that you're doing. We didn't know you previously to this. We kind of still don't, but just connected, through some of these groups. And what you're doing is amazing for the kids. You've got some groups evacuated. You've been able to set up new orphanages and for them, right?
Well, we've gotten groups. I mean, we were working on starting our own orphanage actually once this all started. So that's all on pause, but we are getting some of the groups out from Ukraine, orphan groups, foster kids, vulnerable. And now we're working on a big property in Germany where we can house up to 100 to 140 kids possibly that get out. Because what we're seeing is a few things. One is we're seeing groups that need to come out, but then we're seeing groups that have gotten out and they only have a temporary place to stay.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So now some of them are going, we're at a hotel, and I've heard multiple of these stories. We're at a hotel and now we don't know where to go. And so I think the next 2 to 6 months, there's going to be a big need for housing and caring for kiddos for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna walk everybody through this because if you go to this link, you can go here and then scroll down. And we have a link here that you can click. And you can just put in your zip code. For example, and like for us, it pulls up all of our representatives over here.
Okay.
So you can, for example, pull this up and then the phone numbers are right here. Or you can click on the person and like here, then I can go to her website and then here under contact is email. So that's how you get a hold of their email addresses. And then on the same, you can download the scripts for calling or emailing. So it's super easy. Everybody watching, take 5 minutes, blow up their phones, and let's make a difference together.
And Klobuchar has been a leader in kind of advocating for families. Have you spoken to her or?
Uh-oh, I think we're losing internet. She froze up. Yeah. So, you there?
Yes.
Guys?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, we lost you for a minute. What were you saying about Klobuchar?
I said she's been a leader in kind of advocating for these families. Have you been able to speak with her?
Yeah, we've emailed some, and then we have another representative who's been talking to her. And I'm about to make all my calls after this. I've been back-to-back meetings, so I'll be calling. My wife's actually on the phone doing it now. And yeah, we had all of us together. We ended up getting, as you know, what was there, 74 senators that signed a letter.
Yeah.
to advocate for these kiddos too.
Yeah.
So it's
we were able to get all of our reps in the state of Iowa to sign.
wow, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah. So
That
we
is
were proud
amazing.
of that.
Yeah, we're all learning. We're all getting a lesson in government, aren't we?
I know. We know nothing. We're like,
we didn't know anything.
what's a rep? What's a senator?
Totally. How do you
Yeah.
find them? I have no idea.
Yes, exactly.
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank
And
you.
for everybody watching, yeah, please take a minute, share this video, go to the website, call, email your local representatives or anybody you know. And hopefully we can all see these kiddos in a safe place with their families soon.
Awesome.
All right.
Thanks, Justin.
God bless you guys. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Have a good one.